Welcome to this lesson on vector components, where we will learn about breaking vectors into parts. Vectors are quantities that have both magnitude and direction, like velocity or force. Sometimes, working with a single diagonal vector can be tricky. That's why we break them down into simpler, perpendicular parts that are easier to work with. This process is fundamental in physics and engineering, helping us understand motion, forces, and many other phenomena. Vector components are the horizontal and vertical parts that, when combined, recreate the original vector. Think of it as breaking a diagonal arrow into two perpendicular pieces, one along the x-axis and one along the y-axis. Imagine pushing a box at an angle. Instead of thinking about the diagonal push, we can break it into how much we're pushing forward and how much we're pushing upward. These two simpler motions together create the same effect as the original diagonal push. There are several important reasons why we resolve vectors into components. First, it makes complex motion easier to analyze by separating it into independent directions. We can study horizontal and vertical motions separately. Second, it simplifies calculations in physics problems involving forces, velocity, and acceleration. Instead of dealing with angles constantly, we work with straightforward horizontal and vertical values. Third, it's essential for engineering applications like structural analysis and navigation systems, where understanding forces in specific directions is crucial for safety and accuracy. When we resolve a vector, we typically break it into rectangular components, meaning they are perpendicular to each other. The horizontal component is labeled v sub x and lies along the x-axis. The vertical component is labeled v sub y and lies along the y-axis. Together, these two components form a right triangle with the original vector as the hypotenuse. The beauty of this method is that the horizontal and vertical components are completely independent of each other, making calculations much simpler. To find the components of a vector, we use simple trigonometric formulas. The horizontal component equals v times cosine theta, where v is the magnitude of the vector and theta is the angle measured from the horizontal axis. The vertical component equals v times sine theta. These formulas come from basic right triangle trigonometry. The cosine function gives us the adjacent side, which is the horizontal component, while the sine function gives us the opposite side, which is the vertical component. Remember, theta must be measured from the horizontal axis for these formulas to work correctly. Let's go through the step-by-step method for resolving vectors. Step 1. Identify the magnitude of the vector, which we call v, and the angle theta that the vector makes with the horizontal. Step 2. Use v sub x equals v times cosine theta to find the horizontal component. Step 3. Use v sub y equals v times sine theta to find the vertical component. Step 4. Include appropriate signs based on direction. If the component points in the positive direction, it's positive. If it points in the negative direction, use a negative sign. This last step is crucial for accuracy in your calculations. Let's visualize how vector resolution works. We start with a vector v at an angle theta from the horizontal. When we drop a perpendicular line from the tip of the vector to the horizontal axis, we create a right triangle. The horizontal side of this triangle, along the x-axis, is v cosine theta. The vertical side, parallel to the y-axis, is v sine theta. The original vector is the hypotenuse. Notice how the three elements form a perfect right angle at the corner, confirming our rectangular component system. This geometric representation helps us understand why the trigonometric formulas work. Let's work through our first example. A force of 50 newtons acts at an angle of 30 degrees above the horizontal. We need to find its components. For the horizontal component, we calculate f sub x equals 50 times cosine of 30 degrees, which equals 50 times 0.866, giving us 43.3 newtons. For the vertical component, f sub y equals 50 times sine of 30 degrees, which equals 50 times 0.5, giving us 25 newtons. So this 50 Newton force can be thought of as a 43.3 Newton push horizontally combined with a 25 Newton push vertically. Here's another example. A velocity vector of 100 meters per second is directed at 60 degrees above the horizontal. Let's resolve it. The horizontal component, v sub x, equals 100 times cosine of 60 degrees, which equals 100 times 0.5, giving us 50 meters per second. The vertical component, v sub y, equals 100 times sine of 60 degrees, which equals 100 times 0.866, giving us 86.6 meters per second. Notice how at 60 degrees, the vertical component is larger than the horizontal component, which makes sense because the vector is pointing more upward than sideways. It's helpful to memorize the cosine and sine values for common angles. At 0 degrees, cosine is 1 and sine is 0, meaning the vector is purely horizontal. At 30 degrees, cosine is 0.866 and sine is 0.5. At 45 degrees, both cosine and sine equal 0.707, so the components are equal. At 60 degrees, cosine is 0.5 and sine is 0.866, which is the reverse of 30 degrees. Finally, at 90 degrees, cosine is 0 and sine is 1, meaning the vector is purely vertical. Knowing these values speeds up calculations significantly. Vector resolution has countless real-world applications. In projectile motion, we use it to analyze the path of thrown objects, bullets, or sports balls by separating horizontal and vertical movements. In aviation and navigation, pilots and sailors must calculate wind effects on aircraft and ships and determine optimal flight or sailing paths by resolving wind velocity vectors. In engineering and construction, architects and engineers resolve forces in bridges, buildings, and mechanical systems to ensure structures can withstand loads from multiple directions. These applications show why understanding vector components is so important across many fields. Let's review the key takeaways from this lesson. First, vectors can be broken into horizontal and vertical components that are perpendicular to each other. Second, we use v sub x equals v cosine theta for the horizontal component and v sub y equals v sine theta for the vertical component. Third, the components are independent and can be analyzed separately, which greatly simplifies problem solving. Fourth, vector resolution is essential for solving complex physics and engineering problems in motion, forces, and many other applications. Mastering these concepts will serve as a strong foundation for more advanced topics in physics and mathematics.
If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.